Frontline Updates, where we delve deep into military strategies and updates from conflict zones. Today, we're discussing the progress of the ongoing special military operation as of today. I'm your host, Sharifa Mohammed M.G.T.
I'm Colonel A.C. Oguntoye, an infantry officer. Russian operations on December 14th demonstrate synchronized attrition across all fronts. Sustained pressure on encircled pockets, Dmitrov, Oskol, suggests approaching culmination points for Ukrainian forces in these zones. Continued strikes on EW systems, artillery platforms, and depots severely hamper Ukrainian command and control, counter-battery capability, and mobility. The liberation of Varvarovka expands Russian control in Zaporizhia, while improving positions in the south tighten constraints on Ukrainian maneuver. Increased UAV and bomb intercepts also reflect intensifying Ukrainian attempts at long-range engagement, met by robust Russian air defense posture. Overall, Russia appears to be setting conditions for winter stabilization and potential operational expansions into early 2026.
Welcome to Frontline Updates, the podcast that brings you in-depth insights into military operations from those leading them on the ground. Today, we're joined by Colonel A.C. Oguntoye, an infantry officer monitoring critical missions on the progress of the special military operation as of today. Colonel Oguntoye, thank you for being with us.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Colonel Oguntoye, the December 14th briefing paints a picture of continued multi-front Russian momentum. Could you open with the strategic framing of the day?
December 14th represents a continuation, and in some sectors, an intensification, of Russia's winter operational campaign. What distinguishes today is not just the spread of engagements across 6 separate sectors, but the cohesion with which these operations appear to support a unified strategic design. Russia is pursuing 3 concurrent objectives: degrading Ukrainian combat formations, tightening existing encirclements, and denying Ukraine the logistical or structural bandwidth needed to mount future counteroffensives. Operational tactical aviation, UAVs, and missile artillery assets struck Ukrainian fuel depots and temporary troop concentrations in over 140 locations. In parallel, air defense systems intercepted a considerable number of Ukrainian fixed-wing UAVs and guided bombs, which tells us that Ukraine is attempting to increase its remote strike tempo, and Russia is responding by reinforcing denial across the air domain.
Let's begin with the Northern Front. Russian forces reportedly engaged Yger and territorial brigades near Alexivka and Rizhevka, and additional heavy units near Veliki Burluk and Vilcha. What's your assessment of this sector?
The North remains a shaping and attrition-centric front rather than a breakthrough axis. What we saw today, defeats inflicted on Yger, assault, mechanized, and territorial brigades, reflects Russia's continued pressure on Ukraine's ability to maintain coherent defensive lines in the Sumy, Kharkiv region. These units form a mosaic of Ukrainian force groupings, many of them already stretched thin by earlier losses. The destruction of material warehouses and EW systems further erodes Ukraine's capacity to coordinate defense or anticipate incoming fires. These engagements appear designed to hollow out Ukrainian defenses gradually, setting conditions for future operations, either deeper pushes toward Kharkiv's defensive belt or broader shaping of the northern battlespace.
Is Russia preparing for a larger offensive in the north, or is this more about long-term weakening?
At this stage, it's deliberate weakening. Russia is removing the scaffolding that supports Ukrainian defenses, but not yet exploiting the gaps with major maneuver forces. This interplay between deep strike, air defense, and ground maneuver is becoming the defining pattern of this winter phase.
Moving west, the Oskol River pocket continues to be a recurring theme. What did the December 14 update reveal here?
The West Group continues to apply methodical pressure on an already isolated Ukrainian grouping. Operations targeting mechanized brigades, an assault regiment, and territorial units across Blagodatovka, Kupiansk-Uzlovoy, Podoli, Shikovka, and Red Lyman suggest a tightening of the encirclement. Losses, including an M113 APC, a U.S.-made M198 155mm self-propelled gun, a Croatian-made Heron MLRS launcher, and 7 depots, demonstrate that Ukraine is losing not only personnel but also the specialized systems it needs to stabilize this front. The attrition of logistics vehicles further accelerates the degradation of Ukrainian supply routes. Russia is reducing this pocket not through dramatic breakthroughs but through sustained denial of mobility, firepower, and resupply.
How close is this encircled force to collapse?
The indicators, loss of artillery, loss of armored mobility, dwindling depots, suggest the pocket is approaching operational breakdown. Collapse could occur in phases rather than all at once.
Let's turn to the south, where Russia reportedly improved tactical positioning while striking multiple mechanized brigades. What does this operational language signal?
Improving tactical positioning generally means securing terrain that provides observation advantage, firing lines, or better inter-unit coordination. Engaging Ukrainian mechanized brigades across Konstantinovka, Nikiforovka, Reznikovka, Seversk, Slavyansk, and Stepanovka indicates that Russia is targeting the connective nodes of Ukraine's northern Donetsk defense. The destruction of yet another U.S.-supplied Paladin artillery system is significant. Each loss of a high-end artillery platform diminishes Ukraine's ability to contest Russian fires. These engagements are aimed at compressing Ukrainian maneuver lanes and reducing the elasticity of their defense.
The center sector remains the most dynamic and possibly the most decisive. What developments occurred around Dimitrov and nearby settlements?
The center continues to show signs of Ukrainian desperation and Russian consolidation. Russian units are destroying Ukrainian formations trapped in multiple pockets around the railway station, the northeast, and the western districts of Dmitrov. Clearing operations in Grishino, Svetlo, and Novopavlovka indicate the encirclement perimeter is growing more controlled. The involvement of Ukrainian drone system regiments, airborne brigades, and multiple assault regiments reveals that Ukraine is pouring a wide mix of forces into this sector in an attempt to halt the Russian advance. But with reported losses nearing 500 personnel today alone, these efforts appear reactive rather than strategically coordinated. Russia is dictating tempo, Ukraine is responding with fragmented elements.
Is Dimitrov heading toward operational collapse?
Yes. The encirclement conditions are maturing, and Ukraine appears unable to generate the force density required to break the ring.
The East saw Russia complete the liberation of Varvarovka and continue pressing deeper. How significant is this?
The liberation of Varvarovka is a tactical foothold that allows Russia to shape deeper operational penetration into Zaporizhia. Strikes across Andriivka, Gavrilovka, Vozdvizhevka, Guliapol, Kosovtsevo, Lubitsko, and Ternavado show a dispersed yet coordinated pattern of pressure. Russia is targeting assault brigades, marine units, and territorial defense elements, degrading Ukraine's ability to mount countermaneuver. The destruction of an EW station is critical. Without electronic warfare systems, Ukrainian command and control and counter-battery reactions suffer significantly. Over 300 personnel losses suggest a diminishing Ukrainian capacity to maintain layered defensive belts.
Finally, what happened on the Dnieper axis?
The Dnieper sector remains a pressure corridor rather than a breakthrough theater. Russian forces targeted mountain assault and territorial defense brigades across Orkhov, Razumovka, Dniprovsko, and Nikolsko. While casualties were lower, around 45 personnel, the significance lies in the destroyed artillery, EW stations, and depots. These losses further restrict Ukraine's ability to react along this important southern line, especially during winter when logistics already become strained. Russia doesn't need large gains here, it only needs to keep degrading Ukraine's capacity to stabilize other fronts.
Colonel, thank you for providing such a detailed briefing on the current military situation. Your insights are invaluable to our understanding of the conflict's dynamics. And thank you to our listeners for tuning in. Join us next time as we continue to provide up-to-date coverage on global military affairs. Stay with us for more updates and expert analyses on global defense and security issues. Stay informed, stay secure.
Thank you for the opportunity. I want to emphasize that December 14th reflects a steady tightening of Russian operational control across all key axes. Encirclements in Dimitrov and along the Oskol River appear increasingly decisive. The destruction of Ukrainian artillery, EW assets, and logistics depots undermines Ukraine's capacity for maneuver warfare, pushing them toward more static defense. Russian advances in Zaporizhia and tactical gains in Donetsk compound this pressure. If current trends persist, Ukraine will enter early 2026 with reduced artillery reach, degraded electronic warfare capabilities, and diminishing freedom of maneuver. Russia's winter posture suggests preparation for broader phase shift operations once defensive lines fully erode.
This has been Frontline Updates. Subscribe for daily military briefings and in-depth strategic analysis. Visit our platform for maps, transcripts, and exclusive frontline updates from commanders in theater.